that one is a gray area in my mind, right? I don't think it's easy to say he should have did this, he should have did that. I feel like, yes, police officers should be trained, but also police officers should learn should not shoot to kill, right? Like, he had a bunch of things that he could have done other than shoot her to kill, right? He could have did other things. So that's my thing. But she had a knife. It's like, why the hell is he stabbing people? Like, gee.
Well, let me just interject on that.
Go ahead.
We see countless of videos where
they don't have it.
Where they actually do have a knife, or they do have assault rifles.
We
see that they give them excuses of having a bad day.
Absolutely.
We see that in Nicosia, Wisconsin, where he actually had an assault rifle, sharing water with the police, and he's taken alive, or they go to Burger King with him. So we see
they arrested a mass murderer and took my man's to Burger King.
All the mass murderers.
They
never killed them.
So
welcome back to Life is a Scam podcast. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. We have another amazing episode coming your way. So I want to remind you guys to share, like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, tell your uncles, tell your aunties, tell your mom, tell your dad, everybody, right? So we appreciate the love that we're getting so far. We had a goal of 300 downloads for the month of April, and I believe we hit that about like 20 days into the month. So we appreciate y'all for subscribing and for listening to us on Apple Music and all that good stuff. I know you guys, our regular followers, we got 2 new faces in the house today because we have a very, very, very interesting topic coming your way. But before we jump into the topic, I want to introduce our 2 guests. On my left, we have Adonis. Adonis is currently a law student at Loyola University. He's getting ready to do big things. We need more black lawyers, so I'm glad to see, our black men getting this education. And on my right, we have Devin. Devin is a recent graduate from DePaul Law School. So yeah, we got black excellence all through here, man. We doing our thing. So, but for real, let's give him a round of applause. Law school is not an easy task. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a little drink for them. Cheers to these guys for black excellence. Let's do it. And they got money. Right. Yeah, and they getting money. I mean, yeah. So before we get into our topic, we're gonna have a little icebreaker. So all of you guys know there was in 2020, I think it was probably around this time. I don't know the exact date, but there was a world-shaking. I guess it was an event. Yeah. So I can't remember his name. What's the police officer's name? Derek.
Chauvin.
That bitch ass nigga. No, but that too. But Derek Chauvin. Yeah. So it was, for those who are living under a rock, he kneeled on a man's neck for 9 minutes, and he just went through the whole law process, judicial process, and he thankfully was found guilty. This is the first time recently that, well, at least in my lifetime, that I've seen a white police officer found guilty on 3 counts. I'm surprised he was convicted the first time, yeah, because usually
that's what we got.
Right, that's why they here. I'm not a lawyer, y'all.
Y'all got it.
Yeah, I was surprised he got convicted the first place, because we've seen it happen so many times where we see people murdered by police officers and nothing happens. They say they felt their life was in danger and nothing happens. So we're going to discuss that. We want to hear we want to talk about why police officers keep getting away with stuff like this. We want to talk about what was so special about this case where we were able to actually get a guilty verdict, like what happened. So before we jump into the topic, though, we're going to start with the left side, Akin. Before the verdict came of guilty, did you think he was going to be found guilty or not guilty?
Yeah, for sure. I really thought he was going to be found guilty. I had no doubts in my mind that he was going to walk away innocent. No doubts in my mind. I knew for sure he was going to be found guilty after hearing those witnesses' testimony, and I think it was a pulmonary doctor that came in that explained what happened and scientifically how that man can die by kneeling on the neck, I knew he was going to be found guilty.
Okay.
For sure. No doubt.
Okay. I respect that. What about you, E? What did you think?
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, it wouldn't have been surprised if he got away. Just because, like, for one, he's a white guy. And they've been getting away with, like, things that
countless.
You know what I'm saying? Like, looking at this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even, for them to even go through all that is what, like, come on, like, we're looking at this.
Yeah.
Just get off his neck. You already have him pinned down.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that, you know what I'm saying?
Already.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, he's gonna get up, bro. Like, come on, man. He's been out a whole year, and now you guys are just going into this. Like, but I'm so happy that he definitely got convicted, and now we just waiting for the years that he's gonna get.
The
sentences.
Yeah.
Now we'll see, because even some people are like, okay, don't get too happy.
Right.
He got 5 years. They could just, you know what I'm saying? They go, well,
they get 5 years.
and then what? You know what I'm saying? Y'all was just happy for all that. You feel me? Because like,
see it, but
and it's so crazy that, you know, the way the world is set up, you know.
The United States. That's
Yeah. I should be right, exactly.
Mhm.
United States, because I think it was a couple of months ago or a year ago, this woman did something and she got, like, I think she was a famous lady with a college thing and
The college scam.
the
Yes.
college scam, and
Yes.
she didn't
Yes.
get
Yes.
little to
Nothing
no
happened.
time.
That's true.
And other people are getting years.
We're doing a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I was just more of like, wow, he got convicted. Okay, well, that's at least a step.
Right.
But now I still didn't get my hopes up, and I still don't have it up because like we don't know how many
years
he's gonna get.
I feel
So never get your hopes. You know what I'm saying?
Did your hopes too high?
But to answer your question, I was surprised.
You were surprised?
Yes, I was
Okay.
surprised.
What about you, Adonis?
I wasn't surprised he got convicted. How I felt was a little ambivalent, simply because he got convicted. Like, knowing me and knowing like how society is, that we're gonna see something like that shit happen again in less than damn near 48 hours, and we see that happen again.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
The very same day, another police officer shot a 15-year-old girl.
Right,
That's a whole
so
different case. But yeah.
That's why I felt like sort of ambivalent, just because he got,
Ambivalent.
you know, like convicted.
I gotta write that down.
Yeah, man, just because he got convicted. And my whole thing is that just how our system is like right now.
Right.
We saw someone like commit murder right on camera, and it's just a thought and like, damn, we can get away. That should tell you where we are.
Absolutely.
Just like, damn, we saw this man murder someone right in broad daylight on camera,
Right.
in front of, you know, people.
Shit, the world at this point.
In
And
front
then
of hundreds of witnesses.
It's still a thought
and
process of like,
Yeah.
damn, he might get off.
Get away.
That's true.
That's
That's
scary.
That's something you just
That's
gotta keep
scary.
realizing.
Yeah.
Just how to police it.
That's
Yeah.
scary, bro.
What about you, Devin? What was your expectations after watching everything?
I would say I was definitely surprised. Only because, like you were saying, as far as how society is, we see this all the time at this point. But I also feel like the law changes with society. At some point, you have to change what's going on. We're going to keep getting the riots. We're going to keep getting the backlash of, you know, not really holding the police officers accountable. But at the same time, because it's become almost like the norm, I was surprised that this was the one that really, you know,
That finally.
kind of, I guess, changed the track of what's going on. So,
And just to even piggyback off of what you said, like, you know, for a change, like you were saying, like to even it stopped the riot, as you can see when he got convicted, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because motherfuckers was ready to march.
People was ready.
Because it's frustrating. Think about it.
No,
and then we saw this person, and he has a possibility because he's a police
Exactly.
officer to get off
Right.
for killing another black person.
Yeah, that's what I was
Shit
saying.
wild.
Like, in order for change to happen, you have to see change. Just
it has, like, society has to change. Like, I know me and Shay was talking about a little earlier that, like, as far as, like, even before there wasn't interracial marriage. Like, that's became, the society changed. So we evolved. That's become a norm. So it's not a surprise anymore. It's not illegal. The law had to change.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, as far as homosexual, like, marriages, you know what I'm saying? That had to change. Same-sex marriage had to change, you know? So I guess it's time for a change, I feel like, when it comes to holding police officers accountable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
accountability.
What about you, Bari? What did you expect leading up to the verdict?
What did he say?
Ambivalent. My man.
I'm a Floyd Mayweather. Let me stop joking around. That's a serious matter. I think it was a business deal.
Elaborate.
They didn't want us to fuck the city up.
Yeah.
They have to make an example.
Yeah.
Like, if we wouldn't have did what, no, I don't mean to say we, but like, we wouldn't have told the city up, if we wouldn't have told the city up like we've been doing, they would have
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's feeling that. Like, no, they still don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah. So,
Business deal.
I'm not a conspiracy theory. He's a conspiracy in the group. So he thought, he think there is, shit going on behind the scenes. And it might be, but he did bring up a very, very valid point. A lot of people were saying that the riots was like destroying our city and we shouldn't be out there rioting. I'm like, nah, the riots, they do shit, because now the fact that mayors, governors, people in power see, like, if we let this man go off, we finna have to spend millions rebuilding the city, paying police staff to monitor the city. So it's like, yeah, we're destroying whatever, but at the end of the day, I feel like things like that need to happen. Like, violence isn't always but sometimes the world just needs to see that we are completely just over it. We're tired. We're fed up. We don't want this shit to happen no more. So that's a good point. That's a good point. As for me, was I surprised or not? You can ask these guys here. We have a group chat, and I was like, he's not gonna be found guilty. Like, I didn't see him being found guilty. I followed the case not super closely. I didn't watch every single day, but I did see that there was they hired an expert, a forensic expert, that said, like, oh, he died because of he had pre-existing conditions. He had, exactly, and he was on drugs. So, like, they had people, they had professionals that were trying to, paint this certain narrative. Another narrative they were trying to paint that, like, when you're on drugs, you have heightened strength, right? Like, you don't feel pain. You can do extra shit. So they tried to paint that narrative too. Like, because he was on drugs, the police officer had to restrain him.
Like, imagine,
and it's like
trying to justify.
And people were doing it. They had witnesses saying that the cause of death was not a grown man kneeling on George Floyd's neck. Like, they had witnesses supporting it. So I was like, gee, we live in America. I have never seen a white man found guilty, well, a white police officer found guilty for harming a black man. I'm like, it's not gonna start now. Maybe that's the pessimist in me, but because I hadn't seen it done before, I didn't think it was gonna be today. But when it did happen, I was pleasantly surprised. But I asked these dudes again. I was like, yeah, he probably gonna get like 3 to 5 years.
That's what I said.
Like, he ain't gonna get nothing. Exactly. And that's the problem. That is the problem.
I definitely felt the same way.
Yeah.
To be very honest, like, a lot of people talk about the rioting and stuff. Excuse me, or the rioting and stuff like that. And I kid you not, I rarely followed the news on the whole trial, because when I watched that video, I mean, we're all in here. I'm pretty sure we're going to high school. We've been in fights and so on. And you were so angry. When I watched that video, the type of anger that came upon me, I kid you not, like, no joke aside, if I had superpowers, I would have tore every building. Like, think about it. You're watching this man kneel on somebody's neck. Mm-hmm. And you know in your mind that there's been previous cases that they do this. They exhibit such excess behavior. Watching that video live and watching people think he's going to get away, like, the type of anger that was built up in me was not normal. Like, and I get super angry. Just watching it, it's just like, man, if I had superpowers, I would have tore every shit down I possibly can. So the riot is an entry level. It's like, it's little, because we should have civil war. Like, people don't understand.
No, we should take up arms. I thought
also Malcolm X
on the brink of a civil war when all that stuff was happening.
In other countries, this list of civil war, like, this is.
Devin was about to say something though.
I was saying, you might be like surprised, but we've seen so many videos at this point, and I'm not saying that it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they almost conditioning us to feel like this is normal.
It's normal.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
I almost cried. That's how angry I was.
So
Because
I
the
can't
one-
understand that.
yeah, go ahead.
I think like the anger in us, why you like so angry is because you can see yourself in that position. Because you
Absolutely.
see a black man.
That's
I think
it.
a lot of white people cannot see themselves as a
Being
George
that-
Floyd
they
because it
can
wouldn't
never do it.
happen.
It would
right?
never
It
happen.
wouldn't
Absolutely.
happen. And that's why it's frustrating. That's why it's so angry. And like Devin was saying, that history is indicative of the future. We see video. You see the Rocky King. They had that on video of they beating the hell out of that man, and all officers found not guilty.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's why it's like, oh dang, this is surprising, but
Yeah.
it's crazy that we gotta use words surprising, like, oh, I was shocked
Okay.
that we saw a murder on
Yeah.
fucking film, and somebody can have the possibility
It
of
was
top
this
of that,
thing on Twitter. It was
yeah.
this thing on Twitter that said, I think it was like in an Australian newspaper. It was like a murderer caught on camera committing murder was found guilty of murder, and it was like that really could have said found not guilty of murder. Like if with the flip of a coin, with one word, with literally one jury just saying that, nah, I think he had a reason to, he could just walk away.
And if we're being frank, if like body cameras weren't around, this probably would be just a loss of job.
Exactly.
This would
Yeah.
probably he just
If
loses
it wasn't
a job.
recorded,
But now
Right.
you
Not
imagine
even-
too
not
many
even
people
lost
seen
his
it.
job.
We
He would've
we
been
all
exactly.
too much, but
Like,
y'all
leave
too
a
all
pay.
angry.
No,
You know?
He
imagine-
even lost his job. Bro.
imagine
He would've
if-
been legal pay.
Imagine,
come back when it
imagine
died
if
down.
technology wasn't where it was and everybody didn't have a camera on their phone. Like, his report said nothing about what really happened, right? So it's like,
But they're gonna protect themselves.
yeah,
I mean,
if
it's
they
like
had
that.
cameras, nothing would have happened.
But he already had 18 counts of excessive force.
Yeah.
So like you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
know
yeah.
his prior, you know what I'm saying, background is already terrible.
His jacket is
You know what I'm saying? It's terrible. And now we are seeing it.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And you're still trying to, oh man, he was high for this, he's too. First of all, if you lay on the floor, you can't even get up without pushing. If my hands are on my back already,
Exactly.
I can't get up.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is put your on my back.
Put your knee on my back. Exactly.
Hold me
Just
down.
sit on me.
And they already had
Why
his
does
legs
his knee
up
have to be on my
on my
neck?
neck.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on,
And I
like,
think that's what
you
Adonis
talking?
just said makes a lot of sense. Is like the reason we are so angry is because we can see that being us.
Exactly.
And a big thing is all of this happened over using a fake 20. A fake 20 is a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor you're not even supposed to be arrested for. Am I right? Lawyer?
It depends on
It
what the
depends on the
misdemeanor is.
misdemeanor.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that the general blanket.
Okay, somebody
I'm not
told
gonna say that the general blanket,
Right,
but no,
but
I
most-
I
sometimes-
think
I think where you're going with this, that it should have led down to that.
Exactly.
These are non-violent crimes.
It's not
That's
violent
violent
crime.
crime. That's what it leads to. It's not violent crime, so it shouldn't get to that extent.
Exactly.
And we see this countless of times that non-violent crimes get to death.
All the time. So just speaking on what Akin was saying, the one that made George Floyd passing was tragic. I don't want to take anything away from that. But the one that hurt me the most was I wish I had done a research to pull up his name. I'm gonna look it up while we continue the conversation. But it was the guy that he was driving. He had his baby mama and his 5-year-old daughter in the back seat, and they shot him in front of his 5-year-old daughter
I
and
think
killed
I
him.
saw that video.
That's the one that did it for me. 'Cause, like,
that was
I think
a lot for me.
this was a few years ago. Maybe it was like 2-3 years ago. Because at the time, my niece is 8 now. At the time, my niece was like 5 or 6 years old. So I was like, damn. Like, you imagine.
Philando Castro.
Yep, that's it. Yep. So like, I couldn't even imagine like my brother or my brother-in-law being shot in front of their child. Because at the time, I didn't have any kids. I don't have any kids yet. Loading, one's on the way. But it's like I couldn't imagine my niece or nephew watching their father get shot down for no reason, right? So that's the one that hit me the most. And guess what? No conviction. So
I mean, that's the climate the kids are growing up in right now.
Exactly,
They're seeing this. They have access to all social media. They see these videos. So
Yep. And that leads me to the next question, right? So we were supposed to have one of our members, Wes. He has a friend that's a police officer, which kind of leads me to my next question about like I feel like police officers just have issue with power in general, right? Did you guys see the most recent, not the most recent, another recent video that happened where the dude had a full military get up on. I think he was in the army, and they pulled him out the car. And watching that video, what stood out to me the most is that police officers have an issue with power, right? Because he kept on saying like, obey me, comply. I told you to get out the car, get out the car. And it's like, number one, like, if anyone is pointing a gun at you, cursing, saying get out the fucking car, obey me, I feel like y'all are fearful of us, but y'all the one pointing a gun. Like how do you expect us to respond to someone pointing a gun at you, saying get out the fucking car, obey me? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I don't respond well to that. You know, it's like, nah, I'm gonna stay my ass here, or I'm gonna peel off or something.
But that's the thing that people, it's really, I don't know, because then all they're gonna say is listen and do that. But it's like at that moment you and them, it's like, yo,
it's not that easy.
If I get out, I'm getting shot anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
If I have a pack of Skittles in my pocket and he thinks it's a gun,
I'm getting shot anyway. So it's like, y'all stop telling them to listen and get out, because like you're not even in that predicament. Because it's been a lot of time when people be like, yeah, if somebody run up on me, I'm gonna do it. Like, you don't know what you're gonna do at that moment.
Correct, but that's, as y'all know in the group chat, I'm big on do what the police say.
He's big on that. No, you can get into it over that sometime.
Honestly, because one, we all been, well, I don't say hella, but I've been in hella situations involving police.
Speak for yourself.
Do what they say. Pride can be on your shoulder saying, because, I mean, let me get this right. No matter if you do what they say or not, if they gonna kill, they gonna kill. But do what they say.
Yeah.
Make it home.
Because the reason why I say that, because if his agenda is to kill you when he pull you over, at least have something to prove that he was wrong.
Right.
You give him a bit of a reason, a bit of a, what they call it, resistance.
Yeah.
But they already want to let him go free.
Yeah.
So don't give him them free tickets to say, well, he did this, well, he did do everything he say. If you get treated like a slave, we is slaves. Goddamn it. We just trying to come from
moment at least.
We trying to get ahead of that. Okay. But just do what they say. Like whatever pride thing you got on your head, this is for everybody out there, woman, man, especially black man out there. Don't worry about your rights at the time. If you survive, take your rights to court.
But see, okay.
Now let me
take your rights to court.
Let Devin chime in.
I totally understand. Like, my mom, she's a retired CPD officer, so she worked the streets, and for us, she got 2 black male sons. It was always, hey, get home to us.
Yeah.
And she made a statement which, you know, I didn't agree with, but I totally understand like where she was coming from. Because you're a mom, you just want your sons to get home. She was saying that like, when the police wrong, they right. When they right, they right. But think about that. When they wrong, they still right. So don't try to, try to be combative or anything like that. They ask you for something, just comply. And I know for a lot of black males, it can be a little, like you said, ego trip. Like, damn, I know I ain't do nothing wrong, so why am I getting treated like this? I gotta acquiesce to some shit I shouldn't even be doing. But at the end of the day, your life is more important than your ego.
Absolutely.
But I totally understand like why you can get combative. Like, I have got combative with the police, but my mom always told me, like, just stop doing that, because at the end of the day, it ain't worth it. So I totally agree with, like, just comply, and then if your rights been violated, it's regress to go through that process of trying to make sure that they were wrong. So you can always file a complaint. You can always seek out a lawyer to see what rights have been violated. So the main objective is to make sure you survive. And it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, you don't know what the agenda is. Even if it's like, we saw this, a traffic stop can go just eerie into the wrong way. It's fucked up.
Well, I got a question. I'm not on camera, but this is to your point. So how do we ever get effective change if we're always just going to comply?
Just to reiterate for the mics to pick it up, the question is, if we are always complying, how are we going to see progress, right? How are we going to see progress?
We're just going to keep doing
it. So both, either Devin or Adonis, both of you guys can chime in.
Of course, every police officer is different. That's not saying like every police officer abuses their power.
Yeah, only 99%.
Okay, so of course, but the law is supposed to hold the police officers that do abuse their power accountable, right? So when you do feel like your rights have been violated upon, then yes, you go get an attorney and you make sure that the police officer is held accountable. But now, I'm not saying that the courts always come out in your favor.
Right.
Okay? Because we've seen through history that it hasn't. But I think that's one good thing about this ruling. It's like, okay, now we have some precedent to go off of, some type of standard to go off of to help police officers to when this does happen. I'm not saying every time it's going to work, but it's still a good thing to happen. But as far as police officers and their power, everybody in any line of work abuse their power to some extent. It's just that they are the ones that was born here to like protect her. So I get it. We go to certain things.
And just to piggyback off what she's saying, how many of you, like, if y'all feel that y'all rights have been violated, did y'all file a complaint? For black people, it's just like, it's just another day, and it's normal, and that's the problem. We can't keep doing it. And we have to start taking accountability, like, all right, that was wrong, we gotta actually, we had a discussion, but we won't go to the police.
I got a question for both of you, and you guys can answer this question, or you can even tell me, like, I don't have an answer right now, we can research it and move forward. So, when you do feel that your rights have been violated, what steps do you take to go about filing any type of complaint? Do you go to the police? Do you like get a lawyer first? Like how does that look? If I got pulled over, a police officer slapped the phone out of my hand or something like that. Like how do I go about doing that?
Either or.
Mm-hmm.
Either or, but I would go to file a complaint at the police station first. Mm-hmm. Just to say you have it on record. If nothing is done after that, you have more. You saying you exhausted your remedies. So then you can go get a lawyer.
Okay. And then what can a lawyer do in that situation?
It depends on what rights have been violated.
Okay.
And the proof.
And evidence. It's a lot of things are going to take. Because sometimes you don't have a case.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that's why a lot of people at that time they don't comply with the police officer, because they know, like, once they get out the situation and try to file a complaint, it's your word against them.
Exactly.
And it's basically your word against that.
But you always want to have a paper trail. That's the thing. You just want to have a paper trail, so like Derek Chauvin, he had 18 excessive counts. People had to go write that complaint for them to know that.
It might have been 100.
It might have been more, but somebody
no one did it.
So
only 18
we have to start taking that avenue of like, all right,
true.
this is what we got to do if we want to start like a real small change.
So one second. So life is a scam teaching moment. All right, life is a scam teaching moment. All right, black people. We are oftentimes taken advantage of and abused, and we are in situations where we feel like police officers often violate our rights, right? Don't just sit with it. Don't just complain to your family and friends. Wake up, go to the precinct, go to your local police office and file a complaint. Ask for the officer's name badge number, and do something, because having a complaint on record can help the next person 3, 4, 5 years down the line, right? So if something happens, act on it, right? Don't just accept it. All right, but what you gonna say, bro?
No, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh, that's what you gonna say? Oh, I stole your shine? My bad, bro. My bad.
Just to chime in real quick, me and my buddy was talking about this, and told him I was gonna mention this on a podcast, and he was talking about, when you see it all the time. I think the first major case, correct me if I'm wrong, was Trayvon Martin. The first one that made the headlines.
Yeah. That was the first one. So I think that was like
to be so popular in, modern times. Our generation times.
That's our Rodney.
Yeah.
But also make sure you distinguish that wasn't a police officer.
That wasn't a police
officer.
That's definitely
And that you got to
what, security guard? Nah, it was neighborhood watch.
Well, he was talking about,
and he's still alive, bro.
When he was talking about a minute actually, when he was talking about was, where we African Americans, and just to deviate off topic, we're divided when we should be strong together.
Elaborate on that. What you mean?
And he was like, you see this police officers and stuff like that. They get donations. They stand by each other. The reason why we always feel like they're gonna get away with things is because the system is with them.
Yeah.
The system is them, actually, to be honest, because they rule majority of the system. What are we in their system? What are the rich people? The rich people, which mean are of us color, African Americans. What are we in their system? What do we do in that system? What do we control in the system? And I was like, hey, bro, what do you mean by that? He was like, okay, we have different people with money, with power. Money brings power. You know, what do we control? What do we buy? What do we own? People that are educated, that can move up in the world. What do we
I'm sorry,
control?
y'all. I don't know where you going.
No, listen.
That's why I'm trying to listen.
Yeah.
So he was like, do we try to move up to be a police commissioner? Do we try to move up to be an attorney general?
Okay. Where do we get our power from?
How do we affect change?
Exactly.
In the system. We have to work in the system. Change in the system.
So he was like, so what are we really doing? You know, we want to talk
That's
about.
why we got
we want to talk about police
right
reform,
there.
right? We want to talk about police reform and all these things, but
In order to
why can't
reform
a lot of
police,
us
let's
just
get in
become, and a lot of college students and stuff,
See-
going to different careers and stuff,
I do.
be lawyers, be police.
People have to change it because we were thrusted in the system.
Right.
So it's just not on us. It's really our white counterparts do have to start taking it.
So,
So
I think both of y'all make a very valid point.
Well,
Okay.
one question.
So,
he
go
asked
ask
me
the
this
question.
question. He's like, so how do you? I'm glad I have you here. How do you, as us, what do you think we should do in order to protect ourselves and to be better in their system?
I mean, that's a
tough question.
I think
That's
we've already
right.
done that.
Yeah.
And I think we've been doing that to a certain extent. I feel like a lot of us, we've had to adapt to this system in order to survive. I'm not saying all of us do survive,
Right.
but we had to adapt
Some
to
of us
certain things.
Yeah.
But then what's the
Yeah.
solution?
But the solution has been to adapt in order to accomplish more. More of us are accomplishing more. More of us open doors for other ones to come through.
So,
you know?
so check this out. What your friend was saying is valid, right?
Right.
So first, we need people in the places of power.
Yeah, I'm
right?
not. Yeah, like let me emphasize. I'm not
Exactly.
negate that. He was absolutely to.
Right.
You know, you definitely need representation
Exactly.
in place of
We
power.
need
So I
to
totally
go
agree with that.
get. We need to get degrees. We need to go to college because there's this
Power in numbers.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Power in numbers.
and
There's
the
this
wealth.
whole
It's
little
power.
this narrative where it's like, oh, college is a scam. Yes, college is a scam, but it's that's us following their system, right?
It's a tool.
Because
It's a tool.
it's
their
a tool.
system.
It's
We play
a tool.
by
It's
it.
their
It's a
system.
tool.
But if we want to make a change, we have to play by their rules to make a change, right? Like Georgia voted Democrat this year for the first time in a really long time.
Yeah.
And that's a major shot
That
for
was
Stacey Adams,
the one
right?
that won the election, wasn't it?
That's the one. Yeah, I mean,
We stayed up for like 2 days.
But Georgia was really.
But
man,
Stacey Adams,
Plain state.
literally, that's someone who she literally did so much groundwork to actually flip that state, right? So that's an example of someone who was like, you know what, I'm going to take power into my own hands, right? We need more people like her. But I get what Adonis is saying is like we can't do it alone. Like if you look at the makeup of America, we are 13 black people from the most recent census is I want to say between 13 and 16%, like of America. If every single black person say I'm gonna get up and go do something,
it's not gonna.
it's not enough. We are severely outnumbered. Right after us, Hispanics make up 18%. So even if every Hispanic person and every black person came together and said, let's make a change, we are still outnumbered, right? So we can't put the onus on us alone, right? We can't do that.
So then I'm about to ask this question. Though.
But like you, I'm sorry, but like you were saying, as far as like how do we affect the system? Black people, we also are the biggest consumers. We also do a lot as far as money is power. We also have a lot of that. So we do affect in a lot of different ways. We do, you know.
So I'm about to ask an honest question here. Like, this is for me. I've not done anything. He asked me. Okay.
So you haven't done it.
No. So he asked me.
Start with you.
No, exactly. So this is an honest question he asked me. He was like, you see that they contribute to lawyer fees and things like that. They, do donations. I mean, the guy that killed Trayvon Martin was a millionaire. There's police officers. They have donations to pay for the legal fees. Yeah. They have bond money in a matter of a second.
Right,
what have I done? He asked me, what have I done to contribute to like the to the
like
case.
the people that's fighting against that.
Are you contributing to Floyd
to George Floyd?
George Floyd's family funds or things like that? Like,
Well,
you know what? To be honest,
No.
I just pray and hope that the officer is guilty.
Yeah.
I kid you not, I'm not.
Yeah.
So he was aiming at that. I was like, see, like, what are you doing to even help these cases and push it forward to even drive this man to be guilty?
I got an answer
Like,
for you, but he wants to respond real quick.
I kind of want to just go back to the police thing.
Go ahead.
As far as like, cause she said there's bad police, there's good police.
Mm-hmm.
I never liked that statement.
so you want to come back? So that's it.
It's been on my head, bro.
Elaborate for us.
I didn't forget your question. I
When
didn't say bad police. I said police.
When I was 20,
Mm-hmm.
I was offered a job to be a correctional officer.
Mm-hmm.
I turned it down.
Mm-hmm.
This was from a stepmother that was a sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I can get you on automatic.
Yeah.
You ain't got to look at just fill out the paperwork, I'll get you in. All you got to do is watch. Felonies.
Yeah.
Black people.
Yeah.
Felonies. It's an easy job, right?
You should have did it.
It's for the money, right?
No, just to look out. Yeah, to look out for him. To look out. Absolutely. But continue.
When people get jobs as police,
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck is y'all intent?
Mm-hmm.
Is it for the money?
Mm-hmm.
Is it to be the hero that you are supposed to be, protect and serve?
Yeah.
Because apparently these police officers are getting these jobs
For the
and
wrong
they
reasons.
are not ready for them. When I turned down that correctional officer job, it's because I told myself I am not ready to defend myself with these inmates. I was 20, I was free.
He said,
I don't know what I would do in a situation where I'm attacked or I wasn't confident.
Right. Yeah.
So if you are about to be a police officer, wear your uniform confidently. Like,
well, that's the part. They got to start with the hiring process.
Alright,
That's
so-
what- that's
well,
what they-
I wouldn't even say that.
So that's what I'm saying. I was like, be prepared to not be feared by a color, a size. Like,
It's
So
tough.
I want
They
to
gotta
say
start with the
something.
training and hiring, bro.
All right,
That's
I
how
said
it is.
no. Think about it. Think about what you just said. It starts with the training and hiring, right?
It really started with the hiring before the
It
training.
started hiring. Absolutely.
The people that have been doing this shit that, you know what I'm saying, all these killings, they've been on the job for 10 plus years.
that don't mean nothing.
No, and I'm trying to say, like, how are you saying it starts with the training? I think it starts with, like,
No, it's training.
So this is the
I
thing.
think a lot of things.
the lady that killed, she been on that for
But that's-
26
but-
years.
so-
and
so-
still
so-
going
quick
around
thing,
gun.
quick thing. There's no psychological.
That's what
That's
I'm
all I'm gonna say. It's psychological training. What are you gonna
to
do? Train
wither,
people
no,
behind?
use the key word, to wither out the racism in some of this. I can walk in,
Yeah.
a regular person, if I'm racist or not, you're not gonna, it's not
No,
real on my face
funny
that I'm
story.
racist.
Wait, funny
Or
story.
I
I was
have a thing
literally,
against black
I was
people.
at LA Fitness 2 months ago. Well, maybe a month ago, working out. They had like a little display set up, like it was a police officer. He wasn't just a police officer. Maybe he was a detective. I don't remember his exact position, but he was like, yeah, we're at the LA Fitness in Bronzeville on 35th. Like we're looking for black officers. He was like, starting pay is $70K. I said to y'all, he gave me his card. Like,
Oh, that's what
well,
you
yeah.
said?
He was like, we were looking for black police
Get this
officers.
shit outta here.
Come apply. And like, so you're saying like literally, like, to your point. They do. There's really no
Bare
training.
minimum.
The bare minimum. Anybody in the world could wake up and be like, you know what?
No,
I want to be a
for
cop
fact,
today.
well,
You know,
it-
and
It's
it's
just like any other.
but it shouldn't be like that. It should not be. Anybody can't be a
process.
Everybody can't be a doctor, right? Everybody cannot be a doctor. A doctor takes years of training to be.
Right.
Any
If you-
racist can be a doctor. Anybody that's prejudiced can become a doctor. Anybody
You're right,
that
but
has
you're still going-
psychological,
It's
like,
the
that
training.
hate other people.
That's what I'm saying.
Check this out.
In the
Check
hiring
this out.
process.
I give you that, right?
But the Chicago
in
police
order-
do go through an extensive.
It's not a rigorous.
Right.
It's not a rigorous.
They go through
training.
what? How long
'Cause
is
if
it?
you look,
It's a month, 'cause
no.
so wait.
It's not rigorous.
Let's Google
It's
it.
not rigorous.
I'm about to
I'm gonna tell you why it's
I'm
not
saying
rigorous.
because
We
the
gonna fact
twins.
check
While
that.
you Google it, let me.
All right.
I did. I'm telling
But
you.
wait,
the whole
but let me
presentation
land
on
though.
why it's not rigorous.
All right.
Bruh, but let me land real quick. Let me land. My point in saying that is this. I have friends who are in the military. They go through real rigorous training. I got a friend that's in the military that he is so confident he can whoop anybody's ass that he has guns. But he is okay putting his gun down and saying, I will beat your motherfucking ass. because he's been trained to.
Right.
Every police officer should have that confidence. But we have police officers who are cowards. They're scared, G. The dude that just shot the 13-year-old boy, the boy turned around and before he even did a full turnaround, he already let off the gun. They're terrified, right? It's because they are not trained properly.
It's not just terrified though, because what you're speaking of is somebody kind of flexing their muscle and making it seem like, okay, you're not gonna challenge me. Right. But if you're going into a certain neighborhood, they gonna challenge you.
They gonna challenge you. Okay.
So then what? So you still retaliate and you kill one of those guys, right? So that's you're not fearful at that point. But there is some police officers that are legit fearful. But I don't think that they're ready to be police officers like you spoke of. They need more training. They need more experience. They don't need to be police officers.
This is what I'm trying to inject.
Yeah.
If you look at police in other countries, to be certain police, you need like 18 months of training to be a police in Norway. Mm-hmm. In Switzerland, you need certain months of police over a year. Yeah. And it's just our stuff. You can be a police in like 6 months.
We need something.
And think about it.
6 months.
6 months of training. Sometimes you need a whole year and a half to be a police in other countries.
Watch out this clean example on scale. I don't know what the fuck. How was Trayvon Martin killed?
What do you mean how?
How was he killed?
Like the form
by
okay. Y'all remember the incident that just happened with the military guy and the black young man that was walking through his neighborhood?
Yeah.
Y'all see what military training do?
Yeah.
It makes you think you can get him out with your hands.
Right.
Dude, Zimmerman is what 70% of these cops are.
Absolutely.
They don't have military training. They don't have confidence that I can get you out with my bare hands.
I can force you out.
That military guy, like I said, he was wrong because the black young, the great thing about it, Trayvon Martin and that young black man were doing the same thing, walking through a neighborhood.
Yeah.
But that, I'm not giving him no points. But
at least he
was a military man. He felt like, I'm going to get this young man out with my
out if I need to.
He got military confidence.
Yeah.
George Zimmerman was a wimpy white guy that feared black men.
That had a gun.
No confidence. Mm-hmm. He used a gun. That's why I'm saying cops need military training. Can you whoop my ass without that gun?
Because you have a certain level of confidence. Like you're not so trigger happy.
You're not trigger happy. I'm going to whoop you regardless.
Okay, but you know what they're going to say is, we don't know what you have on you. So for me to even come...
But that's it. To be a cop, it says you risk your life.
You signed up for it.
So you may die. This isn't I gotta make it on my back. No. You signed up to be ready to die on a fucking job.
If you don't want to die, go be a computer scientist.
To be honest with you,
Go be a firefighter.
A lot of what you do, even if it is wrong.
If you want to help people, go to nursing school. If you want to help people, go be a firefighter. Right? If you want to sign up to be a police officer, you need to sign up to be a police officer. You have to accept what comes with it.
Peace officer.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And if you are a peace officer, like if you go into every situation trying to de-escalate instead of escalate, I feel like you will end up doing a lot more good than bad. Because sometimes it's just not worth it, right? Like, think about all the people who have died for no reason. Like, just let the dude go home. Like, somebody, let's say, let me think of an example. Somebody, I think, what was Sandra Bland pulled over for? Illegal use of lanes? Illegal use of lanes. She changed lanes without signaling.
It's a non.
So you want to arrest, you want to take somebody to jail because they changed lanes without signaling. That shit don't make sense. So, like, all you got, if you focus on de-escalation at the end, remind yourself, she just merged the lane. It's cool, whatever, be on your way. But like, they're not trained to de-escalate. So I think that's the issue.
But you know what?
They are trained to de-escalate to a certain extent. That's exactly.
They just need better training.
They need better training.
Yeah.
They're not accepted by that level.
So back to what you said about military training. The officer that just killed that girl with a knife, he was an expert marksman. He was a military training.
That's a different situation.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Before we wrap up this episode, we're gonna wrap it up really quick. So everybody talk real fast. We ain't gonna keep going too long.
So I'm gonna go real fast. So I wanted to just mention that he was an expert military trained expert marksman. Right? Okay, yeah. Like literally, watch that video. And then my second thing is we still didn't talk about what have you done to contribute to this.
Oh, you was asking?
Okay. No, he was asking. Okay.
Honestly, you look in, and I want you to answer. What have you done?
We'll let
besides watching the news and playing.
We'll let everybody rattle off, right?
Yeah,
Everybody rattle off. So 2 things that I've done. So one, I believe that by educating myself, and by me trying to be a good citizen of abiding by rules, doing what I have to do, and also by giving back to people behind me, right? So I reach back for people. I look at black men who are in college, and I want to mentor and help them and teach them whatever knowledge I have, right? That's my way of impacting the system, right? So if I see somebody that, if I see someone that goes to UIC, I went to UIC, a black man, and he is struggling in school, and I can get in his life and make sure that he finishes his degree, I feel like I'm making a change in the system. That's my version, right?
So have you done that, or you want to do that?
Absolutely, I am doing that. I have people who are in college that I mentor currently.
Okay, then.
Yeah. So that's me to that. And then just to talk about what you just said about the whole the other incident, the other shooting that happened. That one is a gray area in my mind, right? I don't think it's easy to say he should have did this, he should have did that. I feel like, yes, police officers should be trained, but also police officers should learn should not shoot to kill, right? Like, he had a bunch of things that he could have done other than shoot her to kill, right? He could have did other things. So that's my thing. But she had a knife. It's like, why the hell is he stabbing people? Like, gee.
Well, let me just interject on that.
Go ahead.
We see countless of videos where
they don't have it.
Where they actually do have a knife, or they do have assault rifles.
So white folks, woo, true.
We see that they give them excuses of having a bad day.
Absolutely.
We see that in Nicosia, Wisconsin, where he actually had an assault rifle, sharing water with the police, and he's taken alive, or they go to Burger King with him. So we see
they arrested a mass murderer and took my man's to Burger King.
All the mass murders. They never killed him.
So it's not necessarily that someone's life was threatened, or they don't know how to de-escalate. They just choose
not to.
Who and when to
because of the color of the skin.
Exactly.
So as soon as they hear it's black folks, they ready to shoot. They trigger happy.
Because we just have been so dehumanizing.
That's also just exactly what I was about to piggyback on. Like, we've been so dehumanized that like it's okay to look at us as animals, look at us as a threat. Like and the law has almost made it acceptable as a defense. Like, I was scared.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost
I feared for my life, so I couldn't.
Why? I'm a human. Because you feel that way? What's the threat? What's the actual threat?
And that's the crazy thing, is that's just how their program is. That's just like an everyday thing. You could be on the elevator, you'll see a white lady clutch your person. I'm in that bitch like, shit, I'm scared of you. You could kill me and get away with it. Yeah.
But I'm saying, on the flip side of it, a lot of us are scared of us too.
A lot of us are scared.
No, and that's where it's when you was like, black people, they don't like to stay with each other and shit like that.
You are not unified.
We're not unified, which is true, because it's been incidents where, like, you know what I'm saying, I see, and I do it on purpose. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because either you about to whoop my ass, or you gonna say something. But like, if I ever notice, like, when you walking past a black dude and he just bugging, y'all bugging each other, I'll be like, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how you doing? Like, I keep it like, you don't gotta be tough, right? You ain't gotta be tough. You can be cool. We can be homies. So like,
hostility.
Exactly. I was on the elevator.
That's a condition we
have. That's a condition. I feel like I try to like get it out there to tell people, like, yo, you don't have to, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't got
yeah. So I was on the elevator, and there was like 2-3 other black dudes in there, and they all just on their phone, and I'm looking like, wow, these niggas, they like, I'm like, y'all doing too much. I'm like, how y'all doing today? You know what I'm saying? Everybody good? He was like,
and whoop your ass.
I'm still here. They was like, you know, and you see people. They gave themselves like, you good, brother? You know what I'm saying? You good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good, man. You know, it's a good day. You know, I'm just blessed to be alive. Then they open up like, yeah, you right. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy shit out here. I'm like, it's that simple.
We ain't If white people have been conditioned to fear us, we feed into an all-white narrative. So we also, in essence, been conditioned to fear us as well.
Right. So that's why I try to break that. You know what I'm saying? And like,
and that's something like small that you're doing.
That's what I'm saying.
Contribute to the
and to even go back to what you were saying. You know what I'm saying? Now that you know what I'm saying, educate myself. I'm gonna do exactly what you said as well. If I do get into an incident, I'm gonna report it, not just be like, you know,
not to be mad about.
I'm gonna go.
Don't worry about your amendments. And all that. Look,
I'm gonna report it. That's all. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's to go into it. That's what I do too. You know what I'm saying? I see people. I just like, hey, what's up, buddy? You know what I'm saying? How you doing today? I just keep it cordial. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, try to break it. Like, bro, you don't have to hate me. I don't have to hate you, bro. Like for no reason at that.
I respect
you know what I'm saying?
that.
For no reason.
I definitely
at that.
respect that. Yeah.
Like if you don't go out with me, but like when I go out with my friends, they'll notice. You know what I'm saying? They like, why is he talking to them? Like, you don't have to know them. Like, bro, we here to have a good time.
Yeah.
If you come into the club with a bad attitude already, you over there like I done had my shoes done on. They, bro, my bad, bro, you good, bro? We partying, bro. I'm not feeling coming don't step on my. If I'm gonna like, okay, if I'm standing over there like this, and then you over there just steady doing that.
Right. What's up?
But like, if we in the club, and you know what I'm saying, we just having fun. I've been a couple of times. They like. Oh my bad, bro. I'm like, bro, we in the club, bro. Have fun. Like it's women around, bro. Like, what is you even mad about? Right. I don't understand how people. So
I respect
that's
that.
Just like how I do. That's just how I do my thing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody should be comfortable around. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to like me, but like at least be comfortable. Because like when the white people with each other, Mexican, you know what I'm saying? All them, they comfortable around each other. True. So why do we always got to make it uncomfortable with each other? You know what I'm saying?
Closing remarks. Go ahead, Bari.
So what have you done? Really?
I'm black. I don't know.
Said I'm black.
Wake up black. And I'm black. So I think the correction officer went over my head. She asked me. She told me all you gotta do is watch over fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think when they hired cops, do you think that's what the cops? Because they were all black people.
The same. Mm-hmm.
As fellas. So the same way she looked at those people incarcerated as nobodies, I believe that's what cops look at the black neighborhoods as.
Mm-hmm.
All fellas. We just here to supervise them, make sure they don't kill each other. But they are not an importance of life. I think that's how they view it.
I
think that's why
they dehumanize us. Yeah, they dehumanize us. I agree.
Until it's time for us to motherfucking shoot that basketball and catch that football, then they love us.
Exactly.
I swear to God, sports is the only
time we get the respect.
Boy, they love black people when it comes to sports and shit.
All right, y'all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So, once again, I want to thank both Adonis and Devin for coming to talk about this topic. I feel like we could honestly run this back. It was a lot. We had some questions that we didn't even get to on the list.
Tell me that word again real quick.
Ambivalent.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say that
Ambivalent.
I'm
I don't even know what's ambition. Nigga said ambition.
That's not what he said.
I can't read the word, man.
All right. No, but once again, thank y'all for tuning in. I feel like this is a really good episode, very informative. I thank you guys both for coming to help us out with this podcast. Everybody, please like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your auntie, tell your mama, tell your dad, tell your brothers and sisters. Share it with us, you know. And until then, we gonna catch y'all later. All right, thank you guys for tuning in.
All right,